other than our dynamic chairperson, Rashmi Tiwari, who knows just the questions to ask and just the fire to spark.
Welcome to this much awaited Desert Day with two stalwarts of the soulful design, architect Jignesh sir and Prashant sir. As we sit down today, not just to listen, but to truly absorb. Let's begin with a whisper of wisdom from Dr. Red that says, good design is as little design as possible. In a world that's constantly turning up the volume, simplicity speaks louder than ever. I'm sure we all must have seen Lapata Ganj and that series that's called as Panchayat. And one thing that has captured us is simplicity. And how this is profoundly depicted through storyline, costumes, and most importantly, interiors. Our theme, designing for well-being through interiors, it's not just about placing potted plants and calling it calm. It's about decoding materials and it's about decoding how the light filters through a room, how materials breathe, how silence can be designed, and how the very texture of a space can soften the chaos in our mind. Today's conversation, it's not a technical seminar. It's more. It's more of a slow brew, warm, introspective, and deeply personal. Through lenses of philosophy, people, and practice, today we are going to explore, can design truly heal? Do our spaces listen to us even when we don't speak? And how do we as designers become mindful creators rather than just being the stylists? Expect lots of the stories, soul searching, and perhaps a few secrets from the drawing boards of our featured architects. So, without further ado, let's begin this enriching dialogue on design that goes beyond the surface and speaks directly to the self. So, the theme for today is designing for well-being through interiors. So, I think Prashant sir and Jignesh sir, I'll just alternate between the two of you. So, the first question to Prashant sir is, what does well-being mean to you in the context of the interior spaces?
Good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here, and I've been lucky to witness some of your interesting events last couple of times. Congratulations to the team for doing such lovely events one after the other. Too many events you have done in 22 months, so that's really nice. Coming to the topic today of what is my take on what does well-being in interior design means, I would say let's look at what is happening in metro cities today. Delhi, look at the air quality. Look at the sun which is available to us, whether it is shielded through the haze of pollution. So I think in interior design, if I can take care of the fundamentals for a good life, which is how do I give better light, natural ventilation, and how do I treat the air? I mean, how do I manage cleaner air, whether through mechanical or natural, or by introduction of certain ingenious methods, like maybe introduction of plants or maybe introduction of some water body, or I think these are a few of the things which really excite me when I think of this particular question. And I would also add, there are some materials which can absorb odor, which can absorb pollution, and bringing those kind of material into our design can really enhance the well-being of a person from this particular angle. Besides that, of course, the use of color, the use of some kind of therapeutic design. So there was a very beautiful presentation which I saw at NatCon in Nashik, where one of the presenters showcased, how repeated use of certain visual elements, in like we say jap, what we call jap, we say Ram, 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 like there is a jap. So there is a repeated design which is also a therapy. So there are many ways in which, aesthetics, material, and technology can be combined in interiors from my perspective to create the feeling of well-being.
So, Jignesh sir, taking the same question forward, that how these natural elements, they influence and inform your interiors.
Hello. Yeah, so before I begin, well-being. Now, what does well-being denote? How many of us are feeling a little cold in here? How many of us?
We all are. Yes.
So basically, when you are in a space, what should influence you is what kind of comfort you feel as you step inside, and what kind of comfort you experience in that space. So can we have the AC turned down a little bit? So we'll start with the first well-being thought, right? Because when I was outside, she asked me twice, "Aap coat nahi pehne, coat nahi pehne." Now I understand why she was saying that. So wearing a coat is a part of your well-being. Otherwise, you can freeze to death, even if you are not in the Himalayas. Air conditioning is good, but too much of something is not so good, right? So we should always realize that where you set your limits. Too much of anything is never good. Not for your well-being, not for your mental health, or not even good for your emotional balance, right? Now, what is good? That's the question that we all face. What is good? Should we do something which is good for us as designers? Or should we do something which is comfortable and good for the clients for whom we are designing? And the very ethos of this question lies in what makes you feel good. See, design is not E is equal to mc square. It is not something which only Einstein could do. Design is something which is, I would say, in the blood or in the psyche of every person who has lived some kind of a life and who knows what to do, when to do, and how much to do. So it is not rocket science. I would say that if you want to do a good design, you just have to keep in mind what makes a person happy. What would you do to feel more comfortable? What ignites your senses? What keeps you calm? And everything that is in nature, you just need to follow that. If it is bright, if it is light, you feel good about it. If it is dark, you don't feel so good about it. The quality of light, the quality of air, as Prashant also mentioned. All these are very simple aspects which you need to inculcate, which you need to include in your designs, and that makes a very, a comfortable design. And a comfortable design is always a good design. That's what I feel.
So very true. You rightly pointed that we all plan for the covered areas with the ACs, and then I don't know, but somewhere I think we go wrong that it's not, when the common man, see, we all are designer over here, but when a common man states this, who's the designer? Like, why is it so cold? And once they switch it off, why is it so uncomfortable? So we have to take into consideration these things. And I think, Prashant sir, can you take this forward in a way that explain that how does your design, like how do you design for the senses beyond just the visuals?
Sorry, so your question is how do I design just for?
How do you design for the senses beyond just the visuals?
Beyond the design for the senses, right? So yeah, okay. So I think as a designer, when you are visualizing a project, it's a 360-degree thing that you are trying to do. It's not only, let's say, हम लोग जब studios में बैठे हैं, तो it's not like the plan and the elevation, but all of us kind of, I'm sure we visualize what's going to be the end result, how it will be. There is an image or a dream in our mind, and then we fill up that dream with the help of the tools that we have as designer, whether it's in the form of sketches, or whether in the form of CAD drawings, or whether in the form of a mood board and things like that. So for me, I mean, when we are designing, the most important thing is first we understand what is it that the client want, and what is it, how the space will be utilized by the client. That's how we first visualize it. And I think in order to give the real feel to the client, it comes in the form of the feeling that it will generate. It's kind of I would say, it's like a meditative feeling that you get when the design is created, which is appealing to your multisensory experiences. So you can say the tactile details are introduced for walking or wall surfaces, which is not only for the hand or the feet to feel, but with tactile detail, with the level differences, you visually also you feel that something has been done. So you kind of create that, you enhance it with the help of, you can say, a light which is like focusing onto it to enhances that texture, or what normally, so it's the material palette that's very important to us as a design practice, which creates all these things. And also we try to play a little with, I would say, water wherever we get a chance to introduce water into our design, whether in the form of a swimming pool or maybe a water body, because I think water is something which calms all of us down. When if you just hear a small water falling or just flowing, because it's in our DNA. Maybe our ancestor would feel relaxed next to a river or a small water body. So I think it's in our DNA. So I think these are some of the special features which really kind of appeal to the senses, and which is beyond, I would say, only the plan elevation and technical drawings from our perspective. We recently did a video we shot, which is called From the Earth to Artistry, and that's where we have captured the feeling. That's about 4 homes we did in Lonavala, and that's where we have captured how we got inspired and how those each second homes have been highlighted. So I think it's very much part of our design practice to create those kind of experiences, and I think that's what we enjoy doing. So yeah.
So taking this conversation in a way, like you said about the water bodies, so I had the opportunity of staying at Kolkata, and therein, like here once you are going to buy a house or something, you are selecting, the selection criteria can be a lot many things, including the directions and all, but therein the most important thing is that can I see a water body? Because therein the societies are planned in a way that the natural water bodies that serves their sole purpose of getting, because therein the fishery is like they grow the fish. Okay, so they do the what do you call it? They call it as the farming of the fishes. So I was blessed that I was staying in a flat where in the moment you open, your eyes, there is one water body and there's another water body on the other side. So I understand what you're saying, and that actually is being conceptualized very well at few, like at different parts of the country, different concepts are being used. So this is widely being used over there. Yeah.
So this, I can't stop sharing this. I used to do a project somewhere in Calcutta, and I used to travel almost every month. And I was fortunate to stay at a hotel called ITC Sonar Bangla. Now that hotel is designed around a huge water body, which is a recycled water body. And even though I used to enter the hotel at 10 o'clock in the night and would leave at 8:30 after, or 9 o'clock after breakfast, my best time was in the night. I would just come and walk around that water body and I'll see what's happening. You would see fish inside. Or in the morning when I just would take a small walk there and you see the birds coming and sitting in that. And I think that's most relaxing. So I feel these kind of natural elements, they have far more, I would say, impact on our senses and our feeling of feel-good factor. Everything is fine, the world is beautiful. You hear a bird sing a little and you think, oh wow, the world is so beautiful. So I just thought I'll share that as an experience.
So taking this concept of well-being towards the people, lifestyle and space, Jignesh sir, can I just ask you that how do you read the unsaid needs of a client when designing for comfort and calm? Like we all have those clients wherein we just start with something with A and then it goes straightway to Y. Like the needs, the comforts, the things just change. So what's your way?
See, the clients nowadays never leave anything unsaid. Actually, in fact, they say more than what is required. Because in a family of 5, there are 5 people who have their dreams, and they kind of from this spectrum to that spectrum. So I haven't found a client whose dreams or whose needs were unsaid. And to top it all, their needs or dreams maybe change every week. So that is the real issue that we face. And what we experienced is, in a way it's good. Because when a client is, or when you're designing for someone who's vocal, it is always design which is happening in a conversational manner. You give something, they think about it, they come back with their own ideas and comments and more inputs. And trust me, when a client is involved or when someone for whom you are designing is involved 100%, we always come up with the best design, we always come up with the best options. Because it's the synergy between the person who's building it and the person who's going to use it. And that always gives the best results. And certain things which are unsaid are mainly technical, which they may not kind of understand or may not kind of fathom, that these things are also required. For example, say services. So clients are usually not too aware of all these technical aspects and services which are to be kind of taken into consideration. But they form an equally important part of what we do. Because if we mess up with that, then whatever you do, whatever we design or whatever we take up is always going to end up in a way that maybe creates trouble later on. Now, our job is also to educate sometimes the clients about whether their requirements or whether their understanding of their requirements is correct or not. So that is the principal job, that taking their consideration, taking their inputs, taking their comfort in mind, taking their unsaid needs and requirements in mind, we need to educate them that this is how we should proceed. Sometimes it's very common to fall into a trap, which a lot of designers do. That okay, we don't have to kind of be in that design or be in something that you are creating. It's ultimately the client who's going to be there, and a lot of big shot architects go with this principle that जो client ने मांगा हमने दे दिया because उसको रहना है, हमको तो नहीं रहना है. I feel that there should be a balance between what is expected out of an architect, what are the needs of the client or someone who's going to use it. You create that balance, you create that synergy, and ultimately what you do should be comfortable, should be something that can be lived in for times to come, for ages to come, and that is our greatest contribution. That's what I feel.
Yeah, great input, sir. Okay, is it better now? Yeah. Prashant sir, can I ask you, how can interiors encourage mindfulness and pause in our fast lives? Like especially the chaos that we all have here in Mumbai. So, is it through the lazy corners or a chair near the window, or what's your way? Because ultimately this is what we all look for.
So, maybe a little interesting answer would be a bar. Am I right? I don't think there is anybody who will disagree to that. But yeah, okay. So yeah, pause. See, I think it's again for interiors. We have to realize that we are serving the requirement of client, and we can kind of give them something. We can ideate with them. So some of the elements which are very conventional, traditional, but very interesting, which clients like, is jhula. Because many of them have forgotten there is something called jhula in the house. And when we are doing a larger homes, we say, would you like to have jhula? And then suddenly one person in the family said, oh, I love jhulas, And everybody else says, bahut jagah chala jayega, especially in apartments, bahut jagah kha jayega. But in larger homes, they eventually put it. I think that's one. We had a very interesting case where we were doing a huge 40,000 square feet house on a 2.5 acre land. And they had a very unique festival where they would have all the women in the house and surrounding area would gather, and they wanted a huge sawan ka jhula kind of a thing, So this kind of, these elements are I would say are little offbeat, but they are one of those cases. In
So
compact,
I just said this is a Gujarati speaking from heart, right?
yeah, you can say that, yeah. Gujarati speaking from what, yeah, maybe. But of course, this project was not in Gujarat. This was in Chhattisgarh near Raipur. But yes, and then also in city like Mumbai, people want the chair with a footrest where the houses are compact because they can really relax, or a couch where they can relax. A lot of kids want areas, cozy areas where they can play their video games, they can listen to music, or they can have those kind of corners. A lot of people work from home, so they demand for special corners where they can work and then they can take a break. And there are a lot of furniture which is designed for this kind of requirements. So pods and a lot of things are available now. So those are some of the things that we use. Also, a small greenery, a corner where there are nice plants which are less on maintenance, and that's what we try to do, at least where we have balconies or larger windows, and that creates a lot of like it creates its own microclimate kind of a thing, or a micro environment around it. And if the luxury permits, we can have a water body or a small waterfall. That also creates a little ambience. So these are some of the simple traditional elements that we use, where people, and then when we are doing lavish homes, then of course there are jacuzzis, there are spa rooms that we have created in larger bungalows that we have done. And those are some of the, I would say, posh areas. And home theaters. I think home theater is another area where, because everybody doesn't want to sit, the culture of sitting, reading books and not doing things, I think it belongs to the another lifetime. It's the feeling I'm getting when I interact with clients. Today's time is more about action, action, action. So they want, places where they can watch movies and, on loud volumes and things like that. So I think these are the areas where people find some kind of solace, where they can take a break from their daily life and get out of their routine.
Jignesh sir, I will ask you that any personal ritual you follow while designing a healing or a reflecting space? Your signature style.
Before I answer this one, I'll also would like to add on the earlier one that, see, today we all live a very fast life. So when you say that, how can interiors encourage mindfulness or pause in our fast lives? It's very difficult. First, you have to advise the client that, okay, either you can join the art of living, Shri Ravi Shankar, first and foremost, because see, whatever you do, you give a nice waterfall, you give a nice courtyard, you give a nice view, you give whatever you want to do, but if that person has to, go for a job at 9 o'clock in the morning or 8 o'clock in the morning, whatever you do, it doesn't matter. So similarly, if that was on a lighter note, but now what happens is, what we have started doing is we have started focusing very much on lighting. We have lighting consultants because we believe and we have experienced that lighting is one of the biggest aspects which can either enhance your mood, can kind of brighten up your mood, can kind of soothe you down. Say for example, in this hall, instead of the white lights where we are more aware or we are more awake, if there were like softer lights, more soft lights, 3K or 2700K, then the mood is a little bit warm. So basically you have to create that kind of a feeling within that home, because all homes are not privileged to have that kind of a view or a balcony where you can put your chair, or where you can have that kind of a size where you mentioned that chulas, because it's a fact. In a 2-bedroom house in say Mumbai or a 1-bedroom house, you cannot afford to have that. But lighting is something that you can control, right? And it doesn't cost much, maybe 10% of the total budget. But that is something which you can control, and that can somehow control the mood of the people that are living in. Once you step into the house and you have the right environment, you have the right feel, because everyone knows that when you step into a place, any space, your mood either lightens up or your mood goes down. It's all because of that one element. If you could do that, the right use of lighting and the right use of colors, even if it's a small space, a minuscule space, you can enhance the mood, you can kind of create that kind of energy within that space. Now, when you say that whether we do some rituals before designing a space, see, we just have to do research. We don't have to do rituals, and I think research is our ritual. If you are designing something, if someone has come to you for advice or for something that has to be done, you need to be an expert on it. So our rituals are our research. It's not like, architecture or design is not like method acting, where if you have to perform a role of a gunda, then you go to Dharavi or some other place, Dongri, and live like a gunda and then perform it. You just have to do your research. You have to understand what, how, and how to kind of execute it, how to design it, how to understand the whole situation, how to understand the problem, and how to resolve it. That's our ritual. So I would say our ritual is proper research.
Beautiful and deep insight, sir. So I think the lighting consultants must be very, very happy. Yeah, and like you said, light actually reflects and actually it affects your mind and your soul a lot. And over to you, sir. A detailing or a joinery you are proud of in context to the scene.
So, I'll just share with you, a detail which I did. So, this is a story when I was a student and I was doing my internship with T. Kharegat and Associate. And we had one gentleman, Mr. Narayan Bhai, who was expert at making water fountains. And he told me that he has done a water fountain in Mafatlal's residence. Mafatlal were the pioneer industrialists. Some of you may remember them. Now they are very hardly known. But they were like Ambanis of those times. And he said the water is splashing out into the living room when the waterfall is working. For me, with about 4-5 years of experience as a student, I was still a student in my final year architecture. So he took me there, and that was designed by some, I don't want to name the architect, but a very famous practicing firm in Mumbai who had done the interiors. But still there was a splashing problem which I saw. And then and it was all made in white marble in the living room. And Mr. Mafatlal, I forgot his name, but he came and then he said, these are the problems. And then I just suggested that why don't we put something over here like this. So I just created a barricade in the form of a marble, which was going with the design. And I think it stopped that problem. So after that, when it got over, when, Narayan Bhai met my father, he was all gaga about, like how well I solved the problem which, like he could not find solution with the principal architect who was designing. Maybe it was a very small thing for that big architectural firm, so they might have not given enough time and they would have even anyway solved it. But for me, at that time, it was a very big thing as a design solution which I could come up with. And I think it boosted my confidence tremendously that, I can solve a complex problem for me at that age, So I think I would say that's what I would like to share. Yeah, thanks.
So it's like, a kind of a block, that was there. So, Jignesh, over to you that how do you deal with the creative blocks? Because like over the years, we have our own, what do we call it, as a signature style, right? Does it changes with the season and with the clients, or like how do you deal with those things?
I will not call them blocks because when you've been in this field for over 2 decades or 2.5 decades, you have your experience speaking for you. What makes sense and what doesn't make sense. And you're defined by your work because what you have done most probably makes sense to a lot of people because that's the reason that they come back to you again and again. And getting repeat clients is one of the signature successes that you have. Now, everyone has their own methodology, be it conceptual, be it the kind of spaces they design, the kind of furniture they do, the kind of colors they use, the kind of lighting they do, the kind of even the smallest of detailing that they do. Some people may call them mental blocks, but we try and convince clients or anyone, even our consultants sometimes, that when we are convinced about, say, a kind of structure that we want to do for an architectural project, and some of the consultants say that, okay, this is literally impossible, then we try and kind of work around it. So we won't say, again I'm saying that we won't call it mental blocks, we always work around, we always try and find a solution to any problem that arises. It may be the thinking of the client, it may be a technical no-no by a consultant, or it may be anything else. We always try and find a solution.
So I can sense that our lovely audiences has lots of the questions to ask, and I also have a lot of the questions to ask. But more than that, I can sense that impatience that's running around. So we'll just quickly jazz it up. I have few of the things like rapid fire kind of a thing. And like they say that the rapid fire, you really have to put this quickly on fire. Okay? And then we'll open this for the questions from the audience. So I think we'll start alternative, is that okay? So Prashant sir, Zen or chaos? What's your choice?
Zen.
Okay. Daylight or dim glow?
Both.
Okay. What's your healing color?
Mocha.
And why?
I think mocha comes from beige grey, where it connects a person to, I would say, sand and stone, natural color, and it's still a vibrant modern color too.
Perfect choice, yes. Sir, who's the wellness icon in design as per you?
I don't know whether you would call him wellness icon, but I think Geoffrey Bawa was one of the biggest architects whose designs, I think, integrated wellness with whatever it is.
Great choice. Textures that you can't resist.
Texture.
Yeah. Is it the smooth or the rough or the natural or, lots of the things. What's one?
I won't say
The
that there is
choices.
one particular, but I prefer satin finish, I would say. Not the texture, but satin finish is what I like.
Okay. It's
Can
it's like Amitabh Bachchan style, so we'll have to be quick. Yes, sir.
Can I?
Yeah.
Exposed brick and concrete.
Agree. 100%. Like, that's my personal choice as well. Yeah. Sir, space that always calm you.
You are saying
He was to say temple.
No, I would say a balcony. Balcony.
Okay, sir, for you.
My bedroom.
Okay. One non-negotiable element for restful interiors. Over to you, Jignesh sir.
I would say lighting and colors.
Okay, so lighting consultants must be after you now. Okay. Prashant sir, design sin in wellness space. So we have heard like this it should be what we should be doing, but now what we shouldn't be doing.
Anything in overindulgence in design.
Agree.
Overindulgence, I would say.
Just the perfect answer. Sir, what does home feel like to you in one word?
Home.
Just the perfect. Yeah. Sir, raw or refined?
Refined.
Okay. Sir, raw or refined?
Both.
Okay. Wood or concrete?
Both.
Concrete.
Okay. Light or shadow?
Both.
Light. You know why?
Yeah.
Because there is nothing called shade. The lack of light is shade.
Agree.
You
Yeah,
get it?
yeah,
So-
yeah. Beautiful perspective. Yeah.
So there is.
I mean, the audience, you must, at least appreciate the honest answers. Yes. Sir, curves or clean lines?
Both.
Oh, this is not
It
like.
depends on where. See, it cannot be like universal truth.
Curves. But I want to just add here, I have read a book which talked about the geometry in nature, and it says that everything which is curvilinear is basically derived from lines.
Agree,
So,
agree.
but still I love curves, okay.
Yeah. So line is the base for all the curves. Yeah. Sir, one Indian craft you love to use?
The Kutchi mirror work on walls.
And one which you don't want, like, which you say that, okay, I found this thing disproportionate or that kind of a thing. Indian craft.
That's a very difficult question. I mean,
So you guys have to answer difficult things.
Indian craft which I would not like to use. Honestly, none. I mean, somewhere or I'm sorry, I don't have any answer for that. Yeah.
Maybe everything is just too good. Yeah. Sir, a design trend you wish that never existed.
Can't think of it.
Prashant sir.
Deconstructivism. Deconstructivism, just for people who know, that's fine, but it's about like too much, which is, like you can say stretched or curved, and something, I would say in simple words, it's weird. So I wish there was nothing like deconstructivism.
Yeah. So interior hero from global design. Like apart from both of you, from global design.
There is no such hero. Maybe if something comes to my mind, I'll tell you.
Yeah, maybe
but I like the works of Santiago Calatrava.
Yeah. So for you.
I like the work of Frank Lloyd Wright,
Okay.
and even though he did a lot of architecture, but I have visited some of the homes and his own office in Chicago, and I think brilliant interior design he did, which sometimes you feel that, oh, what we are doing today, he did like 50, 60, 70 years ago.
Agree. Yeah. Sir, a space you wish that you had designed.
Someone else's.
No, I mean, see, something which is already like, which is well visited, it's well known, and you wish that you should have designed that.
No, never had such wish.
I mean, I would say in terms of fantasy, I would say maybe the new Parliament House.
And now one last question. Interiors in one word.
Emotions.
Details.
Yeah, design lies in the details. Yeah, and emotions, of course, they define it. So I think with this, we come to an end of this wonderful conversation from my end. And now the litmus test begins for you, because we are opening up this for the audience. So I've been very calm and composed in asking the questions. I can't guarantee the audience are the same. So over to you. Audience is hungry, so you have to be quick. Rather, they will be more quick.
Yes, anybody from the audience?
I guess they are hungry, so no one.
Excuse me.
Since I am from Kutch and you spoke about the mirror work, we call it an abla work. So I really appreciate the integrities of the work. So I was just want you to elaborate in what spaces you try to use this artwork.
I've used it in several bungalows that I did, in the courtyards that we do for them. And we usually do one wall which is highlighted with that work, and which also acts as a background for a little bit of greenery or a nice tree or something of that sort, where there is a little bit of sitting area also. The reflection of that whole space during daylight, because it's a courtyard, because of that mirror, and during the night, because of the moonlight, the kind of feeling that it gives you when you're sitting there, it's something out of the world. So that's why I like that space, because then that space becomes a living space. Because of the quality of light and the texture of light and the movement of the sun and the moon, every 10 minutes, every half an hour it is changing. and you feel as if you're sitting in some space which is moving, which is very rare.
So really thank you. Why? Because the art used in a very functional way. So even it is a surprise for me. So really compliments to you. Thank you.
Yeah. And one unheard question from the audience that I can see is that to both of you, that which one of your favorite project where you would like the TRC members to take you along?
You're most welcome to Surat, where I stay and where I've done majority of my work. And I'd be glad to, because some of the private residences that we have done are truly amazing. And recently we finished a villa, which was a poolside villa. It's a natural pond, and it's turned out to be amazing. So Surat, all of you are most welcome.
I have done a hotel in city center of Udaipur. Incidentally, Udaipur is my all-time favorite city from childhood, and I'm fortunate to do a hotel, architecture and interior both. So it's a boutique hotel with 54 rooms, rooftop restaurant, swimming pool and rooftop. And we got number of awards for that hotel. So I think that's where the beauty of architecture, interiors, tradition, modern interpretation, everything can be seen, and it just got over a couple of years ago, so it's still fresh. And then of course everybody can stay there, so that's
We are ready with our bags.
Yes.
Okay, so literally thanks to both of you for being too honest, too good, and enriching our heart, mind and soul with your beautiful concepts, the ideas, your philosophy. A lot to take away from this. And now I think it's time to give way to our host and host, Neha. So over to you now.